You guys, something amazing has happened this month. Every single book that I read, I've given 5 stars to. Like, has that ever happened before, ever? So I'm really excited to get in today's wrap up because all the books that I read in the month of May, I gave 5 stars to, which is just like, hello, the perfect reading month. It does exist. Also, a quick announcement, I will be doing a Q&A sometime in the next month. So I made a little Q&A announcement video, which I will leave in the description below. Let's just get on into this May wrap up. So the first book that I read in the month of May was A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. Gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This was my most anticipated release for this year and it did not disappoint me. Sure, there are things that I wish I could have changed, but overall I really enjoyed this book and I'm so excited to keep reading books in this series, although I'm sad that this part of the story has kind of come to an end, but still so excited for the future. I have a full discussion which is full of spoilers, which I will have linked also below in the description. You can check that out only if you have read this book because like you will be spoiled like crazy. Next, I read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, which I also gave 5 out of 5 stars to. So I don't know if anyone else is like this. I feel like it's pretty common, but after reading a fantasy book like that, I could not read another fantasy book. So I had to go something completely the opposite and reading this new adult romance type of book. It's contemporary, it's cute. Our main character, she's from a strawberry farm, which I feel like I've never read about a character who grew up in a strawberry farm, and she just loves her parents, but she's living in this publishing world, and her arch enemy Joshua, the nemesis she hates so much, but they kind of play these games, and of course, you know, something more comes of it, and his character, so good. Her character, so good. The whole book was funny, so quick to read, just super enjoyable. Next, I read My Not So Perfect Life by Sophie Kinsella. I was very much anticipating to read this one as well because Sophie Kinsella just does contemporary so well. She has such a wit to her writing that makes her books just so enjoyable, at least for me. So this was really cool because I read this after I went to London and the first part of this book takes place in London. So there were some tube stations and some streets, etc. areas of London that I had just been to and that I had just experienced. So it was really fun to read about these places and know that I was just there, which also probably made the book more enjoyable for me. The romance in this book, I have to say, I was not the biggest fan of. I found it more of this woman trying to find herself. It's another farm story. It's so weird how The Hating Game and this one had that in common, but her father kind of lives on this farm and they're turning it into this up and coming little getaway luxury retreat kind of thing, and she's gonna kind of start up this business, but she also has this life in London and she loves London. She loves the fast pace of it, but then it's contrasted to the slow pace where her father lives, and so it's just this wonderful dynamic of which side is she going to choose, or does she have to choose. The romance wasn't too spectacular. I feel like it was kind of just thrown in there, but it didn't really have any depth. So the romance I did not super enjoy, and also I felt some things just went way too quickly. That being said, I still gave the book 5 stars because everything else about it was just so good. And the final book that I read was The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. Like, hello, I gave this book 5 stars because it's absolutely incredible. I listened to it on audiobook, which I would highly encourage you to do so if you're debating book or audiobook, because the audiobook was really great. This book was just so authentic, and I really appreciate how it had an authentic ring to it, unlike Small Great Things, which I read a few months ago, which felt really fake to me, and this book definitely didn't. It kind of was shedding a light on some real life issues. Of course, this isn't a nonfiction story, but it's based in a reality that is so true for so many, and so I really appreciated how this book took on this case and this issue and this neighborhood. I honestly think everybody should read this book. I feel like everybody could learn something from it, even though it is a fictional story. So that wraps up my reading month for the month of May, and it was just on point. Like, I'm a little afraid of what's gonna happen in June because this month was just so good for reading. So I'll throw in right now what I'm currently reading. I'm reading 2 books. I'm reading Gone with the Wind and The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins, and I've read another Wilkie Collins book earlier this year. Then Wilkie Collins writes these mysteries that takes place in England, and so this one is another one set in that time. I really like his writing. It's very enjoyable and it doesn't read like a heavy classic. And then I've wanted to read Gone with the Wind for a while, and it is really good. I'm still in the beginning, but I'm very much enjoying it. So now I'm officially done with this video. Let me know what you read in the month of May or what you're currently reading. Thanks for watching and happy reading.